everyone, welcome back to the Dish on Aging. Today is episode 12. It is March 14th, 2021. Today we will be addressing the topic of why is it important to continue to use your internet and video communication skills even after the pandemic. I am so excited today to be introducing one of my dear friends. Her name is Gamma S. That's Gammaszess. It would be important to her that I make sure you all have her correctly identified. And she sent a photograph and a audio of why she thinks it's so important that everyone continue to maintain their internet and video communication skills for the rest of the pandemic and then beyond. So let's hear to see what Gamma has to say today.
Hi everyone, this is Gamma S speaking. I wanted to send you a picture of me surfing as my way of communicating to you to keep on riding that wave of internet technology that you learned during the pandemic.
Thank you, Gamma. Thank you so much for your kind words, inspiration, and just encouragement as all of us move forward. Okay, just a brief summary of where we are in the pandemic. Most of us here in the Philadelphia region who are in the 1A group have either been fully vaccinated or starting to become vaccinated. I have an appointment this coming up week to get vaccinated or can probably expect to be contacted this week. We are moving forward. Within this community now, I believe we have upwards of 20% of people are at least partially vaccinated. We have 13% of Americans are fully vaccinated. That is an important number. I looked it up yesterday. As I saw a news report that France has to shut down again, I looked up an important number to me, and that number is 3% of the French citizens are fully vaccinated. Compare that. United States, we have 13%, and we are moving forward very, very quickly with this here in this country. So remains to be seen if we will have any need for further shutdowns here. Also, on Thursday or Wednesday of last week, Center for Disease Control and Medicare has now opened up long-term care nursing homes for visitors inside the building. So this is huge. The expectation is that it'll probably take until Monday, March 15th for the facilities to get policies in order. Everyone is going to have to wear a mask. You're now okayed. You can now go to the room of your loved one. The preference is that if the weather is nice that you can meet outside, but now you can go in the building with a mask, and each facility has to decide how they're going to manage that. Initially, they may have to set that up as appointments so that they don't have an overcrowding of visitors in the building. So also it's up to the discretion of the directors and of each facility to decide will they have a specific room for outside family visits or how they'll set that up. So this is absolutely tremendous. I think it has been incredibly harmful beyond anything that's being measured. The psychological detrimental impact of no family visitors to long-term care facilities over the past year. So it's because community vaccinations are up. Most residents across the country are vaccinated. There's only 3 stipulations for where you can't visit your loved one, and that is if your loved one has COVID, if your loved one's in quarantine, or has to do with if community spread goes higher than 10%, or if the facility has fewer than 70% residents vaccinated. I think most facilities have at least 70% of their residents vaccinated. So that criteria is going to be a non-issue in most cases. What I like about what Medicare and CDC did last week, They're not concerned about whether or not the resident has been vaccinated, the family's been vaccinated, or the staff has been vaccinated. They don't care about that. They're opening the doors for in the building visits with masks. It was actually effective immediately on Wednesday or Thursday. So that's really good news. So now back to our topic. We want to talk about why it's important that we continue with these internet skills that have been developed in response to the emergency of this pandemic. The first thing I want to do is put up a slide about decline in aging. This slide shows that at about age 65, we start to functionally decline. Functional decline is, can you run? Can you walk? Do you walk with a walker? Are you free of a walker? Or are you using a wheelchair occasionally all the time? Or are you bedbound? That is sort of functional decline. Here's what the challenge is. Once we turn age 65, we start with a slow decline. That's normal. That is normal aging. You cannot undo aging. If we are successful agers, and a lot of this is we just hit the genetics lottery real lucky, then we are going to have a much slower decline. And that's also about lifestyle. And that is about not just exercise, eating right, going to the doctor, doing everything your doctor says, but also staying not only just healthy, but happy as well. Keep going with your leisure activities and also social connections and friendships. And that's tough because not only are you declining, but all your friends and family your own age are declining as well. Now, those who are what's the term? The accelerated decline, those people will say to me, I feel my age today, I feel 20 years older than I am today. We will actually decline in our abilities to whether we can run, walk, exercise, whether we're using a wheelchair or we're restricted to a chair or a bed. The rate of that decline may go very quickly if we have medical diagnoses, if we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're engaging in unhealthy lifestyle, we're not exercising, we're sedentary, we're eating everything our doctor told us or asked us to stay away from, and also we are not socially connected and we might even be depressed. So those are going to be the factors that are going to accelerate our aging process, and then there's going to be protective factors that are going to slow it down. Some of those things we have control over, some of them we don't. So one of the things we have control over is continuing with our internet use. And I'm going to tell you, you probably can anticipate where I'm going to go with this. When it comes to the brain and the aging brain, two words become important. There's three types of memory. There's crystallized memory, there is fluid memory, and there is also what we call performance memory. I'll start with performance memory first. That is, we remember the dance moves. As soon as we get in the pool, we remember how to swim. That's when we get behind the wheel of a car. Our arms and feet automatically know how to operate that vehicle. That performance memory is action memory. Crystallized memory is the things that we just know because we've always known them. Okay, anybody could ask me questions about these books. A lot of these I had to study and learn when I was an undergraduate or in graduate school. This information and from many, many other books are in my head. That's crystallized. It's from a long time ago. If you've been playing chess since you've been a teen, how to play chess and chess strategy, that is your crystallized memory. Let me tell you what fluid memory is. Fluid memory is these darn smartphones. I had to learn, I don't know, somewhere in my 40s, midlife, how to understand how to tap the front of this, how to work it, how these darn apps work. And they oftentimes don't come with a clear instruction manual either. And most technology is fluid memory. I want you to look at this chart and you will see how fast fluid memory, this is average normal aging, we lose our fluid memory as we get older. This fluid memory, these smartphones, the ability to use this video, the ability to learn new technologies is going to be fluid memory. Guess what? Everything you learned during this pandemic for the first time about how to use the internet, how to talk to your doctors by video, how to interact with your family by video, that over time, that fluid learning is now going to become crystallized, old or familiar learning. You do it automatically without having to think about it. So, you've taken the time because of the pandemic emergency to learn these skills, keep them sharp. And the problem with new video and internet technology and even equipment is that it changes every 6 months to a year to 2 years. So we're constantly having to learn new things. And once we turn, I think this chart here says about age 50, 54, it's downhill on this new technology. So you've taken the time to learn it this past year, so hang on to that, and that's going to be really important for everyone. And let me tell you why. Because the internet, the use of video for communication and doing business, use of video from our homes is worked really well. It hasn't been easy. There's been bumpy rides. It has not worked for young children in school. There have been a lot of situations where it has not worked, but it has worked very, very well in a number of areas of our society. And because of that, it's going to continue as an option. For somebody who says, I never want to talk to a doctor by video ever again, once we get to this other side of the pandemic, you won't have to. What's really important is that to be able to use the internet now as for communication is going to become an important option. Think about this. Telehealth, not every appointment, you're not going to be able to do a telehealth, surgical procedure. I mean, that's obvious. But let's say you want to talk to your surgeon with your family there. About whether or not this surgery or medical procedure makes sense to you. Setting up telehealth. Your family can be in different states of the country. You can all be in the same meeting at the same time. It's going to be a tremendous benefit of this. Very important in terms of friends and family connections. You may have friends who moved during this pandemic. Maybe they moved in with their family a distance away. Maybe some of your family always has been as a distance, and you've been able to connect with them on a weekly basis because now you're connected by video internet. So keep these skills up. Also, there's going to be things like visits with that we don't always think about, not just those who are working age who are working from home, but visits with for banking, for accounting, for, let's say you've got a family member who's passed and you want to set up services. If you're not driving anymore, a video connection may allow for a reasonable way to live at your home, safely connected with the world, able to conduct business if you have video communication skills still as an option. I'm not saying absolute. If you want to get in your car and go everywhere, take care of all the business, that's always going to be the case after the pandemic. But simply to have the video as an option. Also, so it's going to be very important for things like cold winters, hot summers. If you're living alone, you may have a temporary medical condition. Let's say you're finally decided to get that hip redone or that knee redone. You're going to get through that happier and healthier if you can continue with these internet skills that you've learned this past year. So, okay. So I want to just conclude on that. Keep these skills going. Remember what Gamma S said about this. Let's just keep riding the wave of our internet skills just during and through and on the other side of the pandemic. I had to look up what Emma said, or Gemma, oh gosh, I gotta keep her name straight. What Gamma said to me. Earlier, she said hang 10, and I had to look up to see what that meant. And that is, y'all going to appreciate this. If your balance is so good up on one of those surfboards that you can put your 10 toes around the front of the surfboard. So it's a very hard surfing move. But if we can keep going, if we are over age, whatever, 52, and we can keep our fluid intelligence, learning all of this new technology as it comes out, we are going to be able to continue to live happy and healthy in our homes for a longer period of time as we are going on that normal aging decline. Again, that's normal, that's supposed to happen. We can't stop it, we can slow it down. Okay, thanks a lot. I look forward to seeing you all next week. And next week we will be talking about, oh, how should we be thinking about our future home care needs? Okay, see you then. Bye bye.